Stuart, I wanted to just tell you what I'm seeing. And this is as somebody, I really like looking at different perspectives, which is part of why Self-Reg speaks to me. I think of it as a 360 degree, and I'm sure I'm missing some, but what I am seeing play out between being a mom, going through my daughter doing grade 7 or grade 6 from home is one lens for me, and friends' moms and their experiences and things, but a lot through our community, through the courses I'm teaching, and through social media in particular. I see a shift that's happening, and I don't know if there's something we can say to the teachers out there, and because I feel like they might like to hear from us, because here's what I'm seeing. When I think about a teacher, some of them are thriving right now. Most of them have been thrown into this situation where they too are home. Some of them are dealing, worry, and lots of them have their own kids at home, and they're suddenly responsible for that. Worries about the world. Suddenly you have to teach online, and even if you did a little bit, like TMC was actually very lucky in a sense, because we have an online school. We've had to make shifts. A lot of events that both you and I were going to do in our summer event and things have changed, but we were already doing this. We already had an online school. I've built courses online, so it wasn't as much a shift. You're suddenly having to build, and then you have to deal with issues of equity, and you're mourning. There's people grieving that they haven't, they suddenly couldn't see their kids, their students anymore. There's layers of pressure. So I feel kind of bad about this, but I had to stop and stand back and put myself in my daughter. She has 2 teachers. They split 2 classes, and I put some pressure on about video, being able to see one another, because it just feels it's so important. But I know there's layers of approval and that they're dealing with. And you have to remember that even though it would be easy in my house, there's people without technology, then there's equity issues, and there's people that don't want a video turned on in their house, or they have 7 kids, right? So, I'm one parent asking for more pressure, putting more pressure. And, people that are criticizing how the teaching's happening. Meanwhile, this is not homeschooling. This is not distance education. This is survival. This is remote learning, and the very best way that people can to honor that what's happened for the kids. And so that's what I'm seeing. I'm hearing from teachers, a few weeks ago, I was seeing things in teachers where they were excited about, or kind of dealing with it, going with the flow, people talking about not being able to focus. I've seen people say that they can't do big book clubs because they can't, focus. All these signs of overstressed teachers. But also this pressure being put on teachers. I'm guilty of it myself. I tweeted out a couple of really cool things I saw, not thinking of, when you tweet out the picture of the guy with the whiteboard outside of a kid's window teaching math. What does that say to another teacher who's, struggling with it? And, and you don't know their stories. People have people in their own families that have got sick, or that they're worried about, or suddenly they're not able to see. And so that's the context. I mean, I'm sure I didn't even come close to covering all of the different extra stressors and viewpoints. But I'm just wondering what you might want to say to the educators and to all of the folks like me out there who maybe have felt like they had some advice to give to these educators right now. Because I think a good Self-Reg reframe and a big virtual hug is in order.
Well, I want to respond with a message to society at large and not to our teachers. When we come out of this, and we will come out of this, one of the things I'm hoping to see happen is that society's attitudes towards our teachers are finally transformed. You told us a story, you and I were doing something else earlier today, and you told a story about how you were greeted, how you were treated in the streets of Italy when you were teaching there for 4 years. So my experience, we used to go to Italy quite a lot, And my experience was always felt so proud, so validated when I was in Italy, to the point where I actually considered taking a job. You don't know this. I actually considered taking a job at the University of Pisa because the Italians made me feel so good about being a teacher. And that's what I want to see happen here. What needs to happen next is that I know, I can see from my daughter's experience at school, which has gone online, and from my son's, our teachers are working the very best they can in what is really a very, very difficult situation. And what I feel is this immense gratitude for what they are trying to do for my child. And they're doing it for the noblest of reasons. And so now what I want to see happen, what I'd like to see happen from the senior political levels, is this societal-wide expression of gratitude for what they are trying to do. No more recriminations, just plain thank you.